And it's time for the next matchup in the AF Lager Championship. But it's not the next matchup. Let's have a look at the table. So, looking at the table, we can see that the last beer to get through was the Birra Moretti, which beat the San Miguel in the last taste test. Warsteiner, it looks like it's going to get a bye to the next round anyway. But what it's going to be up against hasn't been decided yet, because I've not been able to find the Freedom Lager yet, which is a shame. I know they have it in Aldi a lot of the time, but I've not been able to see it in Aldi. I'm sure they had it in Tesco. It's not there anymore. So unless I find the Freedom before I get to the end of the first round of the championships, then the Freedom's out, the Becks will be getting a bye. But we're going to move on to the next one. So we're going to move on to the next matchup, which you can see there. And we're going to introduce the beers to you now. So this is the next matchup in the alcohol-free lager championship. First of all, on my left, I've got Aldi's own Rheinbacher Pilsner, 0%. So there we go. Rheinbacher Pilsner, 0%. Alcohol-free, absolutely 0.0. 330ml bottle, and they're not too dear, these. They're about... They come in 6. I think there's 6 for about $3.99. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be. And that's going to be up against the Clausthaler Original, which is 0.5% or contains less than 0.5% alcohol. And this is, it's been around for a long time. This is from Home Bargains. I think it's about 4 bottles for $2.99, something like that. Let's have a look at the sugar content, as is often the case with these things. Wow, 100 mils has 2 grams of sugar in the Rheinbacher Pilsner. Ooh, does that sound like it's going to be a really sweet one? Let's have a see. The Clausthaler has, wow, 2.8 grams of sugar in it. So yeah, 2.8 grams of sugar in the Clausthaler. So that is interesting as well. Anyway, what can I say? So both of these fairly high in sugar, but again, I'm not going to take that into account, obviously. That is basically just, you know, if I like the lager, whatever the best is, that's the best, even if it's got 20 grams of sugar in it. But it's always nice to look at these to decide, you know, because the amount of sugar that they have varies wildly from beer to beer, which is strange. Anyway, Clausthaler, Rheinbacher. Let's get them poured out into glasses. Let's get the taste test underway. Okay, beer's poured. And what can I say? We've got the Brewdog glass and the day glass, as usual. Let's tell you which one is which. So this is which one is which. Okay, that was which one was which. Right, these heads are dissipating rather quickly, so let's start looking at the beers. So looking at the beers, they're both very similar colours indeed. Pale straw with a hint of amber in them. I wouldn't even say that this one is any darker, because it looked darker when I poured it, but I think that's just because of what's underneath it. Yeah, so let's get smelling these and see what I think of them. So let's get a nose on this one first of all. Ooh. Yeah, again, quite a sweetness coming from that one. A little bit of that kind of tinned pineapple. But that might just be like fruit and syrup. That's giving me that, because obviously tinned fruit is always in syrup in it. So it could be that. Not getting any cheese as such, so that's good. So it's kind of like a synthetic fruitiness and syrupiness. It's not overly horrible, though it does taste a little bit fake. I'm not getting a huge amount else. Not getting a huge amount else from it, really. Just an overwhelming sweetness, syrupy, sort of tinned fruit cocktail, think that. A little bit of grassiness in there, but that's about it for that one. Okay, let's start swilling this one. Get a bit of a nose on this. Oh no, that is different. That is already maltier, but it's a fresher malt. It's not horrible, kind of like the San Miguel. Again, still quite sweet, but it's more of a lemony sweetness. Say lemony sweetness, a bit weird really. Almost like candied lemons or candied limes. Smells limey and lemony. and citrusy, but with like a candied fruit kind of. You know those when you get the orange segments with the sugar on them, which have been candied. Yeah, of course. Yeah, those kind of things. That's what that's putting me in mind of. Very sweet in the nose, but not unpleasant, and not. I wouldn't say that's ridiculously synthetic, but it does taste very confectionery. Well, smell very confectionery. I've not tasted it yet, have I? Right, let's have a swirl. Let's taste them though, because I'm hoping they're going to taste like a beer. Because neither of these particularly smell like a beer. So here we go. Cheers. So it was quite sweet in the smell, and there is a bit of that sweetness on the taste, but there is quite a bit of bitterness, and it is quite dry on the finish. So it does actually balance out quite well. I think that it's not bad. Not getting a huge amount in the malt profile, I won't lie. It's not massively flavourful, but there's a nice bit of bitterness to it. It's not too sweet. It's refreshing. It's crisp. It's not bad. It's not bad. Which is nice because I've had some that have been bad. Well, this is not bad. It's got a good whack of bitterness on the finish, that I think, which kind of saves it from the fact that it's a little bit bland. It doesn't have a huge amount of flavour, but it's okay. It's perfectly passable. Let's move on to the other one. Okay, here we go. Cheers. Oh, now that's different. Now that's got a nice bit of maltiness to it. And it's not a really sweet maltiness. It's got that sweet fruitiness. There's the lemon and the lime in there still. But it's got a lovely maltiness to a lovely malty backbone, which is a nice, it's not a really sweet, syrupy maltiness to me. I mean, it is quite a sweet beer, but I'd say that maltiness is quite dry. It's got a nice bit of bitterness. It tastes quite earthy as well, which I like. It doesn't taste a huge amount like a lager, but it does taste like a beer. It tastes like a kind of fancy, well, not fancy, but kind of like a beer that's trying to be something else with a bit of lime and a bit of flavour. Almost like the Desperados, really. That kind of thing. Yeah, definite citrus notes in the flavour there. A little bit of pine as well. Now, I can't drink these without thinking I know what they are, and I do think I know what they are. But anyway, but it's remarkably complex, this. For an alcohol-free beer, it's remarkably complex. Whether it does a great job as a lager, I don't know. I mean, it is a lager, so it does a good job as a lager. Does it taste like a lager? Does it have to taste like a lager? I mean, the Lucky Saint didn't taste like a traditional lager, but it was all right. I'm liking that because it's interesting. It's interesting. It's a little bit earthy. It's a little bit malty. There's a bit of bitterness there. It's a little bit sweet. It's nice. Let's go back to this one. In comparison, this one's a bit flat. You do get that sweet smell as you bring it up to your nose. It's not bad, but it's not as good as this one. This one is quite remarkable. It is an interesting thing. This one is going through. I think this one is the Clausthaler. I think this one is the Rheinbacher. But I'm going to find out which one's which, and I will be back in a minute. And I'm back. And yeah, let's just cut to the chase. So this was the Rheinbacher Pilsner. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. But the Clausthaler is good. I like the Clausthaler. I think it's a good alcohol-free lager. I mean, it's probably not for everybody. It is very sweet. I've got to say, but it has got 2.8 grams of sugar. It is very sweet. It's not unbeatable. I would like it to be a bit more dry than that. It is quite sweet, especially with those kind of lemon and lime kind of flavours there. The Rheinbacher is drier, but it's got less flavour. It's drier. I think the sweetness is a bit more synthetic. It's got less flavour to it, I think. But all in all, the Rheinbacher Pilsner, I mean, I've had it before. I know it's a decent alcohol-free lager. And it's not bad at all. This could possibly be a contender to maybe get back in. Because what I might end up doing is if I have to scratch anything after this round, maybe the Tsingtao, I might end up having to put an unlucky loser, should we say, in its place. Because I still don't know whether the Tsingtao is still available. But as I said before, if I get to the end of the first round and the Tsingtao is no longer available, it'll have to be scratched. And rather than just giving whatever it would be up against a buy, I'll probably bring back a beer that was the most unlucky one to be out at that point. So the Rheinbacher Pilsner, I think, is the front runner, I would say, of the ones that have been knocked out so far. It's not bad at all. But it was beaten by this one. A strong contender. The Clausthaler. A good smell and a good taste. Not for everybody. It is a bit strange. It has got a unique taste to it. There's no other alcohol-free beer or no other alcohol-free lager that tastes like this. But it is for my palate. I do like it. I think it's interesting. And I think really if you're going to have an alcohol-free lager, none of them actually taste like a proper lager, let's face it. Or none of the ones I've had taste like a proper lager. So you might as well have one that's tasty and interesting as far as I'm concerned. So there you go. Clausthaler through to the second round. Until next time, have a good one.